Good afternoon. At the time of the recording of this video, it is Saturday, August 22nd, 2026, which just happens to be my 60th birthday. My plan for today was to come to you from Ohio's Amish country as an official kickoff to my new YouTube channel, Florida Dream, and to reflect on turning 60. However, I had just scheduled an Uber to pick up my rental car from Enterprise Rental yesterday and received a call from Enterprise that said that they could not honor my reservation due to high demand for storm damaged for vehicles due to the storm damage here in Ohio. So now we will not get into. I currently own two vehicles in my name, but I currently do not have access to use either one of those. So that's a sore subject, but we'll just let that go for now because that is a sore subject. I can't believe actually turned 60 today and how fast those 60 years have gone by. And the older I get, it just seems like the time goes faster. I've never been one big on celebrating my birthdays, and I had planned to spend the weekend alone reflecting on events from the last year, but also reflecting on the last 60 years as well. I will say that the past year has been probably the hardest year of my life. Last year on August 5th, 2025, I was totally blindsided by a text message that I received from my wife. I want a divorce, no discussion. And then to find out only a short few weeks later that she had been having an affair and was moving out and in with her boyfriend that she had reconnected with on social media. Another sore subject. We won't go there, but maybe sometime down the future we may have a social media discussion, but we'll leave that for now. Since the divorce is still going on, that is all that I want to share for now. I only mention it because it has consumed my life for the last year, pushing me into deep depression that I am still dealing with, and have only recently been able to start pulling myself out of. Everyone, including my wife, says you just need to get over it and move on. And in her terms, stop the woe is me, pity, pity, pity. Not much, she never did have much sympathy for anyone with any kind of depression or mental anxiety or anything, but we won't get into that either. But just to say that I'm just not someone that can just turn off my love for someone like a switch. After 30 plus years of marriage, when I give my heart, I give it fully and unconditionally. And like I said, I only bring that up as just as an intro into the next step in the next phase of my life. I am officially launching my YouTube channel, Florida Dreams, as a healing step in starting my life over after 30 years of marriage and finally getting to fulfill my Florida dream. My pre-married dream was to someday replace Michael Eisner as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Michael Eisner, in my opinion, was the last CEO of Disney that I truly believe understood Walt's dream. And something that I think that the Disney company needs to look into as anytime they are into hiring the next CEO, they need to have Walt's vision. Just to throw it out there, I am available. If anyone from Disney is looking, I have had a love of Disney for all my life. I probably owe my love of Disney to my Uncle Ronald and Aunt Cookie. I can remember hearing their vacations to Disney World and Disneyland, and dreamed of being able to one day have the opportunity to visit Disney myself. I was finally was blessed with the opportunity to visit Disney in 1986 at the age of 19, thanks to my brother-in-law Rick and sister Krista, who spent the summer in Florida for my brother-in-law's work. We went to Epcot for just one day, but that was enough for me to be hooked. I had the opportunity in November of 1993, before starting dating my wife and getting married, of being able to go to Euro Disney, which is now Disneyland Paris, and still have the dream of one day visiting every Disney theme park around the world. My wife and I did have a Disney themed wedding and spent our honeymoon at Disney. Just wishing that dream had not come to a bitter end. But with that being said, you sometimes have to move on with life, and things are sometimes hard. I have a lot of wonderful memories with my family from all of our trips to Disney. Not only from that very first trip on my own to Epcot in 1986, and to all the trips since. And I will have to say, probably some of my favorite memories are the trips that my wife and I and our children spent with my brother-in-law and my sister Krista and their kids. Probably one of my favorite memories of all times at Disney was when my oldest son, Zach, was just about a year old, and I can remember Goofy carrying him around the restaurant at one of the character dinings. And then also, after Goofy had carried him around the restaurant, I can't remember whether it was Chip or Dale, laid down on the floor of the restaurant and allowed Zach to put Zach on his stomach, and just kept playing with Zach, and just wonderful memories, of time with family there. If I can give one piece of advice to all the parents out there, for my 60 years of life, is life is short and time goes by quickly. So remember, you work to live, not live to work. At the end of the day, as I reflect back on life as I am doing now after 60 years on this earth, you don't remember the time you spent at work. You remember the time that you spent with your family. So choose your family over work. The work will always be there. Your family will not. Something that I have the hard reality of learned over the last year, that sometimes life happens, and family's not there anymore. So, and some of the memories are gone. So please make sure that you don't take your family for granted like I did sometimes. And there's a lot of things in life that when you look back, that you just I still wish to this day I could go back and make a lot of changes in life, but unfortunately, that's all you can do, is move forward and learn. So so that's why I'm using this YouTube channel. As I've dabbled in it a little bit over the last couple years. Put a few things out there, not really focusing on it, but have been trying to focus more on it over the last week or so. I have to say, I can still remember my first interactions with YouTube in 2020, after losing my job during COVID, and one day just sitting and working on resumes and kept sending out resume after resume and looking for jobs, and just got to the point of got tired of continually looking for jobs and being rejected. And I started to think back to times at Disney and the things that the fun that we had at Disney. And so I started to look up online things about Disney and just trying to um, find things related to Disney, and came across, just happened to come across a video by Adam DeWoo. If many of you know, just passed away last December at the age of 51. And another thing, thing to reflect on. I got used to watching his videos on a daily basis, and even though I'd never ever met him or any of his family, you get to feel like a personal connection with those people. And in December of last year when he passed away, going through the divorce and all the other issues I was having at the time, that was another thing that really struck me, and to realize that how life is short, and we just need to try to move forward and do things the best we can. And I thank Adam for introducing me in his videos. I can still remember all the other most of the YouTube channels that I watch nowadays started from Adam DeWoo, like Paging Mr. Morrow and Super Enthused and Tim Tracker and Promise Hope and Justin Scarred and his dad, JWW on the Move. I had watched a few of his before Adam's death, and I'm glad to say that his dad and mom have picked up where Adam left off, and put out videos, and it's nice to have that connection. And his dad, I just have much respect for him, and the videos that he puts out, and he's not ashamed of. He was a minister at one point in time in his life, and is not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus, and to tell people about Jesus, and using the media, from social media, to remind people that at the end of the day, we're all going to have to stand before the good Lord and make an account for our lives. And so he very much out there. If you haven't seen any of his, please watch out. JWW on the Move. Great, great, great person. And I'm glad he took on and carried on where his son Adam, left off. I mean, it's that connection, and still watching still watching other YouTubers, like I said, the ones that I mentioned, and like I can still remember the one that he did with Dune Buggy Jim, uh, like his last video when Dune Buggy Jim played the part of the Grinch and went around celebration. It was just a wonderful video, and him and Adam connected on Jim Buggy Jim, or Dune Buggy Jim also played the part of Chewbacca, and had several of those skits, and just amazing how I enjoyed those videos. And like I said, just the other videos of people that were introduced to me through Adam's videos. And he always was someone that he never I, like I said, never got to meet him personally, unfortunately, but in all of his videos he was always willing to stop by and talk with other YouTubers and help bring them along and then give them encouragement. I consider, I don't know if dating myself, but those of you back, I don't know if you ever heard the game, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Well, for movies, I consider, for me, playing that game with Adam DeWoo, and starting with a YouTuber and working your way back to Adam, and I will say the videos that I watch, Adam is definitely an integral part of those videos. So, and it influenced me, and and I would hope to just be even one small fraction of the content producer that he was. I mean, I just have much respect for him. I want my channel to be a platform of exploring my journey through the next chapter in my life, from life after divorce. I am currently in the process of relocating to the Central Florida area. Do not have an exact date or time of when that location will be completed, because I have a lot of loose ends to complete here in Ohio. But I would like to, just have some ideas. If you have some ideas on things that you would like to see me do, places to go, people to see, please leave those in the comments. I will put a list of locations and things that I have thought about. Probably start off around some things around the Central Ohio area, around my house. But I have listed the list in the comments, or list in the description below. If you have any comments, please feel free to reach out. Again, I would appreciate you following along in my journey. Like I said, from life after divorce to the next chapter of my life, and please like and subscribe to my videos, and would love to have your input on suggestions or things to get to, places to go, people to see. See you next time.